fellow explorers. Fantastic to be here again, talking to you this time about Norway, the British Isles, and Iceland. A chat giving you the highlights of these incredible destinations. We've had over 1,000 people register for this fireside webinar. So whether you're listening live or recorded later, very much welcome to this. As part of our HX family, of course, we're talking about these areas in the North Atlantic, but of course we explore many other areas. But this is very much the sort of the Atlantic Arctic area, which is fascinating and a great expedition area. I'm joined in the front of house, so to speak, by Verena and Karin. Very much part of the team and good friends, long-term colleagues here at HX. But also behind the scenes, we have a plethora of people. Some of them are here. We have, based on your feedback from previous webinars, we're delighted to be joined by Sarah and Daniel, who are our expedition travel specialists, who will be able to answer your questions direct if you would like a phone call from them. Either today or tomorrow. They'll, depending on demand, this is new to us, so we'll see how it goes. But if you would like a phone call from them to discuss anything HX, any of these expeditions further, then please put your name and your phone number in the chat, which only goes internally, so it's not public, so it is private, and they will pick up based on first come, first served, your calls and follow those up. So that's new for us. But we're also joined with a great team in the back. You've heard from Lee, but we've got Ollie, Alice, Lasse, Nick, and also another Karin in the background as well. So they will be answering your questions. So please do feel free to put those questions in the chat. At the end, we will also have a question and answer session live, and Ollie will coordinate that and pick out themes through your questions through the webinar. Okay, so at HX, we very much try, or we do create our expeditions based on a mix of adventure, comfort, and sustainability, all which are very important to us. Having that mix of expeditionness, that comfort on the ship, and sustainability is really at the core of what we do, minimizing our impact as much as possible. So that's what we're about, and we've been operating on and off, if you like, since 1896, when we did our first expeditions up from Honningsvåg up to Svalbard, and so we've got a long history through our previous name, Hurtigruten Expeditions, and now HX. We very much, again, our Curious Travelers, our science and education program, and that immersive nature of our trips is very at the core of what we do, and that feeling of knowing and understanding where we're going, and that sustainability are really built into those. For those that are new to expedition cruising, then in terms of what it's really about taking you to places you can't go any other way, and using the ship as a base camp, a platform to operate from, and taking you out on Zodiacs, kayaks for nature landings, small boat cruising, and also in these destinations going to some ports. You may not think of Iceland, the British Isles, and Arctic Norway as true expedition destinations, but we'll show you through this chat how they are, and being able to get you to places that you can't go in other ways with our ships. The 3 ships that we have operating here are 3 of our fleet of 5. We have MS Spitsbergen, which is one of our smaller ships, taking 150 guests. MS Fridtjof Nansen, the newest ship in our fleet, our hybrid electric ship, taking around 490 guests maximum. And also MS Fram, the queen of our fleet, taking around 200 guests. So a real mix of ships, getting the right ship in the right destination for the activities. All our ships are built with our Norwegian style comfort, so very very high quality build, incredibly comfortable and incredibly relaxed atmosphere on board. Unlike other expedition cruise companies, we stand alone in that we do offer all-inclusive expeditions, in that all food, standard drinks, Wi-Fi, etc., gratuities are all included as part of your cost. So you don't have to dip into your pocket for other items. There are some activities like kayaking and some of our excursions which are chargeable, but there is at least one excursion activity a day that is included. So you don't have to dip into your pocket. We also provide you with an expedition jacket. We have a professional photographer as part of our expedition team who will provide you with not only incredible tips and tricks through your voyage, but also a voyage logbook at the end of the trip. A typical day, I'm going to ask Karin to jump in. A typical day in terms of our expedition, an expedition day, may look something like this, Karin. Over to you.
And I think Verena can be part of this one as well. I mean, you start off with your a good breakfast, and normally the activity starts right after breakfast. And Verena, that could be landing, and the science program has kind of a full duration during the day, doesn't it? With different facets, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you go.
So yeah, while some people are out exploring out on a Zodiac cruise or doing a landing, the rest of the passengers can be participating in the science boat, or if they remain on board, attending a lecture or an activity in the science center. So there is for everybody something to do throughout the day. But we try to offer you as much as possible.
Yeah. So a combination of landing and what it might even say here, where it says you go kayaking, you might be also doing Zodiac cruising. You see the boats there. So it could be that you do morning landing, and then afternoon you do cruising. And then you have all the educational program in the middle. One thing I think we can sort of say is that people can be as busy as they want and and choose not to be, but there's always something to do. Yeah,
always plenty going on.
Plenty.
Brilliant. Right, so Arctic Norway, this is I was going to say a new destination for us, not new at all, because we've been this is where we've born and bred, but these itineraries are new. And Karin, you've been very much involved in the development of these from right at the start. So do you want to tell us a bit about what makes these, obviously we're going to go into Arctic Norway a bit more detail, but what makes these special?
They're special in the sense that we stay above the Arctic Circle for the entire trip. So if we take sort of what we are maybe known for is to do large distances from like all the way up from Honningsvåg down to Bergen or even down to Hamburg, which what we used to do with Midnattssolen or Maud and so forth. But what we have now done is we have honed in, and we are making sure that we really get to know an area well, not just rushing past it. And also because it's winter, we would like to stay in this area and be able to go into the fjord systems, which we haven't been able to do before. So this is a deep dive into northern Norway above the Arctic Circle.
And I think it's fair to say, you know, whenever I've asked someone, where should I go on the Norwegian coast? If I'm going on one bit, then this is the highlight region. The Lofoten, Vesterålen, and Senja. It's like the place. You mentioned winter, Karin, and we thought it useful to put this graph here of daylight. Of course, we're starting mid-January, and this sort of shows the daylight. But in terms of the light, I mean, you live in Norway. Norwegian through and through. Tell us about the winter light and what we can expect.
Yeah, you think it's dark. I mean, that is the conception that it's, but that's so far from the truth. It's not really pitch dark. It has these nuances of dusk. So I would say there are many kinds of dusk, and that's what you will experience on a voyage like this, and how quickly it changes, because at that time when because we start after the sun has turned over to go towards the lighter times. So in January you will see that even from like one part of the week to the next part of the week, and as you move from Tromsø down to Lofoten, there are these massive changes in light and when during the day there is light. So you have like you see this pink light, which is early morning. This is like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And then you have the polar light that comes when the sun or the light goes down, more like 3, even 1, 2 p.m. Very interesting during that night. And then you have the polar lights, and you have that opportunity to see northern lights during the entire trip because you're above the circle, the Arctic Circle the whole time.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to say when I've been up there, this, in the time of year we're talking about, the rapid change from from mid-January through to March, how it changes every day, and the days get longer, but that mix of lights, and it's just really magical.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Tudor. And I think and what you will experience is that going from all the way from Lyngen down to Lofoten, you will see the change in light per region, right? Verena, I mean, when we've been going there, you kind of had that, so now it's light at 2 p.m. Oh, wow, it was 1 yesterday because you were further north, right? So it's that discovery of the light. Which is very interesting.
And during that, and we've got some pictures now, but you've been involved in setting up the program with our product team, and we've got and I think we're all really excited about these trips, and I think it's such a magical place, magical time of year, and it's not so it is kind of new for us to do it this way, as you said, Karin.
It is
really specializing on those. But tell us a bit about what we've got installed for our guests on these trips.
So we have this I have to actually give a shout out to Lasse, who is in the background here. When he did his first scouting on there, he tipped us about this one, and I have to say, even being a Norwegian, that this was a little bit unknown to me, and it was really good. This is Tranøy in Senja, an island which you cannot come to unless you actually have a boat. And I don't know, Tudor, if you're planning to say this later, but what we're emphasizing on with these trips is that we want to give you as a guest the opportunity to see places you would probably not be able to see unless you are on a ship, because they are hard to get to, and Tranøy is one of them, and there are small fjords and inlets in both Vesterålen and in Lofoten that we have scouted out just because they are remote, just because they're out of the beaten track, and Tranøy are here, and the same in Lyngen as well.
Yeah, and you get these magnificent backdrops and light, and it's just and that dusting, that icing of snow is just
it's like sugar coating.
And you know what I actually like about this is that we've done the scouting via car, and I have to say we took out and hired small boats as often as we could, because there is something really special about getting that boat perspective and in slow motion. So when you go with a car, you lose so much of the views, because first of all, they are very narrow to one side of a fjord. When you're on a ship, you're in the middle of the fjord and you are seeing it on both sides. It is just a completely different, magnificent experience.
And the connection with all these places, roads, bridges, cars.
Yes, exactly, right?
The highway for thousands of years has been by boat. The same in the Scottish Isles and Iceland and here. So that connection, arriving and leaving by boat to these places is
special.
Yeah.
So I've been conned many times by trying to say this word correctly, but the Norwegian way of life. Tell us about your
Friluftsliv.
yeah, Friluftsliv. Tell us.
No, you do it well. No, you do it well, Tudor. You don't have to be.
20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do it well, actually. So, in addition, we would like to show you the outdoor
Norwegian
life.
way of life.
Yeah, the Norwegian way, exactly, Verena. And well, you've lived with, me and other Norwegians over the years. So I mean, so both of you kind of got the gist of it. But we use nature respectfully, and I think that's what we want to show. We when we make these bonfires, we would like to make bonfires where we cook shoreside, we eat outside, we have good conversation, we have good drink, we have walks, we have trips that we would like to share with you. Not super long, but enough for you to get the taste of what it is to live in Norway during the winter time and use it, not just hide inside a house, but actually use nature. Dress up well, layers, and then we go out and we enjoy it outside.
And I think understanding that culture of Norwegian people today of living outside, living in these places, to us, as a Welshman, it's kind of alien to go and have a little barbecue on the beach in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
But but it's what Norwegians do, and
we do.
It's just ingrained in the blood. And of course we think of winter as a sort of a bit of a barren, dry time, in terms of wildlife. But what can we expect to see, Verena?
Well, it is winter time, yes, but it is also the time when, for example, herring gathers in the fjords in Norway. So that attracts hundreds of orcas and humpback whales. So it is an amazing opportunity to spot these animals while we are slowly sailing, enjoying the views. You can also keep an eye on the water surface. You will probably see these amazing creatures jumping or just coming, skimming the surface, coming out to breathe. There's also reindeer and that you can spot on the ground. Probably Arctic foxes at some point as well, which will be more difficult to spot since they will be all white in their white force. But seals, you will also see seals and eagles soaring over the beautiful white landscape. So there is plenty of life even in the middle of winter in Norway.
Yeah, no, and I think one of those things. I said this before, but one of the first times I spent a lot of time in the Antarctic, and when whales are feeding, they're feeding krill, and krill don't jump out of the water. But when I saw all these capelin and stuff jumping out of the water, and then a whale coming up behind, it was like, whoa, it's different diet.
It's a different kind of feeding, It's,
yes, it
I
is.
agree, yeah.
But all these things we'll talk about it. But one of the things that people say, what should I take? And taking binoculars, expedition cruising and binoculars. Take binoculars, because seeing these things up close through binoculars from a ship or from a Zodiac or from shore adds that connection. And of course, we have ample opportunity for incredible sunsets.
Long ones too.
That change in light is magic. But in terms of
change.
in terms of the core activities, or if you like, summary of Arctic Norway, we've got this mix of different things. And Karin, what's the sort of highlight for you for these trips?
I think the combination of Zodiac cruising and these small nature hikes, and combine them even with a bit of snowshoeing. I think the water element with the land element in a safe way, not sort of overdoing it, it really speaks to me. And of course, I mean, my favorite thing, as you both know, is of course to sit in a kayak, because there is nothing like just gliding through the water with no noise of an engine or anything. And you feel it even more acutely here when you have these towering mountains.
Yes.
And towering mountains on both sides in the fjord landscape. It's a very special feeling. So yeah, but Zodiac rides, long channels, going where the ship can't go because there are bridges or whatever, it's nice. It's really nice.
It's been nice, yeah. And for those that we talk about Zodiac, Zodiac is a brand name
Yeah.
for an inflatable boat, which is the sort of the workhorse of the expedition cruise industry.
Oh, yeah.
But we all talk about Zodiacs, but it's they're inflatable
It's small
boats.
boats.
Small boats can take up to 12 people, and that's what we use day in, day out to take you ashore cruising. It's the taxi from the ship
Yeah.
to the activities.
But
Okay,
there's such freedom in those boats.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to move a lot further south to the British Isles, because chronologically, our ship, then we do the British Isles next in the calendar. And the British Isles, when we're talking now in this webinar about the British Isles, we're specifically talking about the Scottish Islands. And again, similar to Norway in a way, that accessibility by coast, getting to these islands by ship, the ship repositioning at night, getting you to a different island the next day. We have these incredible 10 cruise night trips from Glasgow, heading up into the islands with this with a real mix again of the culture and communities. And again, I'm very lucky. Although I live in Wales, I have a house up in northwest Scotland, so I'm very
You do.
I feel this is an area of the world I love many areas, but to me it's the sort of the same as the Norway bit for Karin. So that connection of the fishing industry, of course, very active. The obviously the whiskey, the massive whiskey industry, the long history with the Standing Stones and many other things. So we also, on these trips, we mix that those activities from the wildlife watching, the kayaking, which we mentioned. We feature food quite heavily, so exploring with our taste, whether it be the solid food, or the golden amber of the whiskey, but also, of course, mixing with hikes, kayaking, and we also bring some of the traditions closer. So you can see that the pipes, the bagpipes, which are a very important part of bringing Scotland to you, not just there, but also on the ships. And again, on the wildlife side, again, I'm going to, Verena, ask you a little bit about what we can expect to see. And of course, we're talking about April and May.
Yes, and this is the time when the birds, the nesting birds, will return to the cliffs. So it will be noisy around the bird cliffs, and we will get to see, or you will get to see, species such as the puffins, the razorbills. There's plenty of oyster catchers as well. Of course, the seals will still be there around, and some whales will. You may even get to see minke whales around the Scottish Isles. Eagles, and of course, let's not forget the not natural inhabitants of the Scottish Isles, but the iconic creatures such as sheep and the Highland coos that also are an important part of visiting Scotland.
Yeah, and in terms of, and again, with all these destinations, Verena, what makes these islands on the edge so special? I mean, you mentioned, this is the time when.
Yes, well, it's all these islands are placed in areas of the ocean where there's upwelling, so meaning that colder waters are coming up to the surface, bringing up nutrients and making it a productive area where phytoplankton will bloom, and that will attract absolutely every kind of life that feeds on the basic food web level, the phytoplankton. So yes, it's a very productive areas that are used by many species, particularly the birds, because of the geography of the islands as well, that have these massive cliffs that are the ideal area for birds to nest. So a wonderful place to be.
Yeah,
I agree.
And Karin, we do quite a lot of hiking in all these three destinations.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that works, how what a guest to expect?
Yeah, so we offer different levels of hiking, and you sign up when you are on the ship, because these hikes are very weather dependent. So it means that promising them a long time in beforehand proves cumbersome. So we prepare our guests who would like to join our hikes with and information while they are on board from our activity guides on what to expect, what level, and then guests can sign up as they see fit on the different leveled hikes. So some are steep ascent and steep descent, and some are more, which, I mean, yeah, you in Scotland say you have mountains, but yeah, blah blah. You have you have hills, but they can be quite there can be quite a bit of an ascent to them. So we grade them, and you as a guest decide what level you would like to join when you come on board.
And they're all guided by, we have expedition guides on board, activity
Yes.
guides that are professionals working in the outdoors,
And they're trained
24/7 and trained, so they're guided. And we also supply walking sticks.
We do.
We have those. We mentioned about the light in Norway, in the winter, Arctic Norway, but of course in the spring in Scotland again you get some incredible light
as well.
And then Verena, one of these, of course, we'll talk about puffin as well. With is of course in all areas, but
yes,
particularly
we did.
Iceland and Scotland. But
yes,
this is really one of the iconic species that we all love to see.
yes, exactly, and it will be busy by the time we start operating there. They are such incredible birds, and it is amazing to see them come back to the nest with all kinds of food in their beaks. You have probably seen those amazing pictures of the puffins with a line of little fish on their beak.
The sand eel, yeah.
Yes, really, really beautiful. But then again, we spoke about those amazing cliffs where these birds nest, Tudor, and I think you have a picture of one such cliff coming up. Yeah. And the thing is, I look at those cliffs because of the birds, but you do look at them from a very different perspective, right?
There's something in every view for everyone. That's the thing, yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that I think the islands of Scotland are very popular for as well are gardens. There's a real mix of castles and big houses with some incredible castles. Here, Broderick Castle on Arran, and we visit a lot of those as well. And being able to get to those at this time of year, really, when they're a lot of bloom and coming, so there's a great time and great access to those castles. Verena mentioned this incredible basalt columns, also on Arran, columnar basalt, slow cooling basalt, but of course an incredible place for nesting birds as well. Hence lots of bird poo staining the rocks. I mean, yeah, but a great mix and a feast for all eyes. We're going to move now to Iceland. We again another incredible destination, which is which we all love, and again a very different destination. We have in 2026, but we also have 2027 out for sale if you're thinking further ahead. But next summer we have 3 itineraries. One which goes from Hamburg up to Iceland, and that's on Nansen. And then we have some circumnavigations with Nansen going, obviously, which gives dips into the whole coast of Iceland, which is a fantastic, showing the variety across. And then at the end of the summer, we have MS Spitsbergen, starting in Reykjavik and heading towards going around Iceland and then heading down to Hamburg. Of course, Iceland, a very special location in the middle of the Atlantic, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, where the ocean floor is spreading apart. And we see that on the surface with incredible volcanoes or eruptions or lava flows, which we see in a very active we see today. And also that landscape, which is sculpted not only by the lava flows, but also by ice. So you've got that real mix of a new raw landscape with this with the ice and the that mix. And that's created some absolutely incredible feasts for the eyes. We were talking about feasts for the eyes, where there's incredible, you know, it's known for its fosses, the incredible waterfalls. We visit places like Maivatn as an excursion, where you get these incredible, yeah, you get these little mud pools and small geysers and all that type of stuff. So a real mix. And with that, we again on our excursions we do lots of different activities. So Karin, again, is a bit of repeat, but because of the destinations. But tell us a bit about the sort of Icelandic experience in terms of how the activities may vary.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring Verena in on some of the. We've got some specific sort of citizen science projects in Iceland,
which are very interesting, by the way, and very unique. But I think for Iceland, the activities are very much community driven. Iceland is a place where it's tourism is very upfront and center, and tourism in Iceland there's a lot that they offer. So there is this smorgasbord of activities that we can choose from in Iceland in order to highlight the best experience. But we do have a few places where we can do a bit of activity with our own guides, which is a few hikes in the Grundarfjord area and also in northwest Iceland, and also a few places for kayaking. But I have to kind of point out that this is very community driven trips around Iceland.
Yeah, and in terms of that, engaging with the science institutions in Iceland, Verena, we've come up with some projects that they've asked us to help with. What are they? How can we get it? How do we get involved in those?
Yes, there's particularly two projects that we are supporting, and the first one is the Icelandic puffins. I remember I mentioned the puffins coming back with food on their beaks. It actually is super important to know what they are bringing back to the nests, because that gives us an indication of the health of the ocean around Iceland and in the area. It also provides information on the changes that we are experiencing due to climate change. And it can also explain how longer the birds need to travel to get enough food for the youngsters. So it is a very nice project. The only thing we need to do is submit photos of puffins with food on their beaks, and the researchers will analyze all of that. The other project is there is a resident population of orcas around Iceland, and they have been monitored for a number of years now. So again, if you manage to get pictures of the orcas during the trip around Iceland, we submit all these observations to the Icelandic Orca project. So those are the two specific for Iceland.
And on all our ships, we have a science and education coordinator and other members of the expedition team that will help and do part of that and work with citizen science projects, other science projects, our guest scientists, and our education program. So there's a myriad of people there to help you. Whether you get these incredible opportunities to do hiking up to these incredible, or these massive waterfalls, a bit like waves, waterfalls, and fire. They just captivate you, suck you in. Is incredible. And you mentioned community visits, Karin, and this is quite typical of some of the places we do visit in a small Icelandic settlement that you can't get to very easily.
No, And that's why the north west and northeast of Iceland is less populated with tourism, and we tend to dwell in that area and in the northeast around Seyðisfjörður and so forth. So we have made really good relations in this area, and would like to also, like we do in other destinations, show Iceland a little bit off the beaten track, not just that golden circle area around Reykjavik, which is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just to show the whole of Iceland, and culturally, it's actually very interesting to see the differences too. It's not just one size fits all.
No, and we do, on our Icelandic itineraries, we do have a mix. We do have some port calls, more in the west, but as we get to the east and northeast, then we are a lot more remote. So we do get that variety, which is also quite nice. And again, there's a bit of repeat on the wildlife.
Yes.
But yeah, who doesn't love a puffin? Yeah. Anything more to add on the wildlife, Verena?
Well, just maybe a bit on where to spot what. The birds, the puffins, the razorbills, the kittiwake, you may be able to see at Heimey and Ísafjörður and Bakagerði, particularly the puffins in Bakagerði. And the whales, they are mostly or more abundant or easier to spot in the north part of Iceland around Akureyri and Húsavík. And actually, there is an amazing whale museum in Húsavík that is really worth visiting. And it's an included excursion, isn't it? So do not miss the opportunity to go see that museum that was also recently redecorated, and the exhibit is really incredible.
And I think one of the things I love about Iceland, lupins, they're not native, but they've kind of taken over.
Introduced to
them. Introduced, I know, non-native, and they've taken over.
But they are now part of the landscape. Yes,
they're everywhere. But they provide this incredible color, especially the time of year we're there.
It's that contrast.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about our science and education program, but again, across all our trips, we have very much an on-ship activity program and an off-ship activity program. But Verena, would you like to add a little bit more flavor to that?
Yes, maybe just tell you that we offer a science and program on board. We also support research on board our vessels. We offer them as platforms of opportunity. So we welcome researchers join you on the trips, and they will be collecting data or samples or doing what they do best, and you will have the opportunity to interact with them and learn from them. Also, our permanent expedition staff are very knowledgeable and super passionate to share their knowledge. So they will be teaching you everything about the destination through lectures, hands-on activities, interactive sessions in the science center, looking at plankton samples under the microscopes, for example. But we will also invite you to deck to not only experience the incredible landscape, but also help you identify birds flying by, whales, etc. And we also support a number of citizen science projects. If you want to participate on those, here is a collection of QR codes for the most used applications. We recommend that you download them before you join so that you have no surprises. We have internet, but it is we are in very remote areas, so better to have that prepared in advance. The data that we collect, we ask you to help us collect it by inviting you to join us in the science boat, where it is you deploying the instruments and collecting the samples that we will then share with the scientific community. So it's a lot to do. Like we said at the very beginning, we try to keep you as busy as you want to be.
Yeah, fantastic.
And
brilliant.
I think Alice, our dear Alice, will make a screenshot of this slide and share it on the chat so that you can have the QR codes for the future. Sorry to interrupt you, Tudor.
No, no, I was going to
Back to you.
I was going to say the same thing. These are not just for
Okay.
use on board. You can use them all the time. So iNaturalist and Merlin are switched on almost daily when I go for a walk. So yeah, fantastic
Exactly.
resources and tools to use. But of course, good introduction on board. We've given you a kind of a real highlight of these three destinations, which we would, of course, love to talk about longer and in depth and share more stories. But we've got that. But we are, of course, there's availability for our upcoming 2026 season to all these places. And as a thank you for joining us, we do have a special additional 5% off to any offers we have for these trips by quoting the HX Web Events 25 when you make your booking via the call center. And if you really want to take advantage and you're ready to book today, then there is an offer that finishes at 8 p.m.
Today.
tonight. So so no better time to arrange your call with Sarah and Daniel and make your booking. If you would like to talk to them, then as we mentioned, then please put your share your name and your number in the question session, and they will pick up that call to you, and depending on volume, get back to you through the day. We have had, and some of you may not be new to listening to us, we have had a series of fireside chats and webinars. So we do have a specific fireside chat on Norway. We talk about those in depth, and also before you sail, we do pre-departure webinar to prepare you for those. So this is, if you would like further details and to look at some of those to get more detail of places, then you're welcome to look at those. Of course, you're in the call, so you've got our details. But again, here is a resume of our numbers to call to get our Guest Excellence Centre, our GX teams. So please, if you'd like to have further information, do those. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and Ollie is going to field our questions. Or questions from you. So here we come. Ollie.
Thank you very much.
How's it going in the background? Have you been busy answering questions?
Yeah, lots of really good questions, and we've saved 9 or so for live. So looking
Brilliant.
forward to asking them. So we'll get cracking. So the first question is, I have clients who have seeing orcas on their bucket list. And I know, Verena, you mentioned about the Iceland orcas. And the question is, probably best place for you, Verena. Is there an itinerary and a time that you'd recommend to give them the best chance of seeing orcas?
Well, Iceland is a good place to spot them, but then again, let's not forget that we are not visiting a zoo. These are wild animals, completely unpredictable what they will do and where they will be. But again, there is a resident population around Iceland, so that means they are there year round. What I would suggest in any case is there is this magnificent platform called Happy Whale. You just go to happywhale.com, and there are observations of marine mammals there reported by people like you, researchers, everybody who has the opportunity to get a picture of a whale. They put it on this platform, and you can follow if the whale has been spotted on several locations. You can even follow the movement of that particular whale on the map, and you can also narrow down the search for a period of time, so you can see where orcas have been spotted lately around the Scottish Isles or in Iceland or in Norway. So that is the best way to go, is to visit Happy Whale before the trip and see where they have been spotted.
Yeah, I've used it myself. Absolutely love it. It's really amazing stuff. And I just had a couple of colleagues literally back in the office today, got back from East Greenland, and they were raving about the experience that they had where they saw some orcas during that expedition. So it's a really amazing experience. Sorry, Tudor.
And I was just going to add, and Karin will probably chip in, but the orcas that come in and feed off the mackerel up in Arctic Norway
Yes.
In Lyngen,
in Lyngen. So there's good as they're kind of known to be there, but again with that caveat, as you say, Verena, we're not in a zoo.
No.
Exactly. Okay, and moving on.
No,
oh, sorry, Karin.
No, go.
Lots of questions. So a couple of concerns, queries around level of fitness needed. So Karin, do you want to answer that one, please, in terms of this person has said that they're a fairly fit 80-year-old. Is it all quite safe and will they still enjoy the experience?
Absolutely. And that's why I was very keen on saying that the small boat experience is something that I would recommend, because it's a level where everybody can. I mean, if you're able to get in and out of a boat, and you can kind of train on it a little bit when you get on board. I mean, the first time you feel a little bit nervous going in and out, but we have people helping you. So I would say yes, it's opportunistic for everyone, and we kind of get to know our guests within 24 hours or so, where we kind of we're good at scanning your fitness level to what we would recommend you to do. So with this broad menu of things to do, we would recommend to you what to do on especially on the activity level. But getting ashore, getting into the boat, enjoying the Zodiac cruise, I think is something for absolutely everyone, right? Don't you think, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. And part of that, being able to pick and choose what you do. So we all love kayaking, but it's not for everyone.
No.
But there's so much to do, whether it's activities on board, activities off the ship, whether it's sitting. All our ships are very outward facing. So sitting at and watching the view go by. So yeah, a mix for everything. So it's more, I would say, fitness level is one thing, but it's more what's in here.
What you're comfortable with.
What you're comfortable with, and that mindset of adventure.
Yeah.
But let us help you when you're on board then. I mean, that's what we are there for.
Exactly.
Is to kind of give you that confidence to maybe challenge yourself a little bit, but not to a degree where you feel frightened, or you go out and you think, oh God, why me?
Yeah.
That's we will create that very warm, fuzzy atmosphere where you feel confident.
Yeah.
Great answer. Thank you very much. Linked to that, and maybe again, Karin or Tudor, if you'd like to answer this one, around will you likely encounter whales whilst in a kayak? Karin or Tudor?
It's not impossible. I mean, Verena, Tudor, it's not impossible, but it's not in these areas. Maybe because you have to go quite a bit out at the open sea to be able to see them. So when we're transiting from one, like an Andøya, for example, in Norway, if I'm just taking one region, we wouldn't kayak there. We wouldn't kayak there because it's just too dangerous, in the sense that you're up and out in the open sea. In the fjords, if you're in bays and fjords and so forth, they are not there. So you will see them when you're out and on deck and trying to observe them with your binoculars. I think that's my shortest answer to that.
Yeah. And I think is a little bit different to, say, Antarctica, which is in height of the summer, and the whales are feeding in the bays. So where we do often see whales when we're kayaking, but up in the Arctic, less so. Yeah.
There is an area just above Tromsø, I mean, in the Lyngen area where you can see them, but that is more November, December. So they kind of moved outwards. They move outwards. So yeah, for those who would like to join us for the Norway program in November and December, then maybe, but not for January, February now.
Yeah.
Great. And then the next one, again, probably Karin, is around the kayaks and Zodiacs, and how we managed to get all passengers off Fridtjof Nansen onto the Zodiacs and kayaks, and how that works.
guys just feel free to pitch in there together with me there. We have a very intricate system for that, which we developed many years ago, where we have groups. So we are able to, in larger area, we use larger boats so that we can take about 70, 80 at a time, and shuttle them to shore, to a jetty. In nature landings, we are able to kind of move 100 people within 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. So it takes us about, well, a good hour and a half to get everybody shoreside when we are moving like 350, 400 people off Nansen. This has been tested and done for, well, we started with that in Antarctica in 2002. So we have more than 20 years experience with that. So yeah, we have a very good system for that. And I would say maybe the best.
I think what I would add, and it's the same on all our ships, is the captain and the expedition leader work really closely together to get the ship in the right place at the right time to give the best experience. And based on the forecast and experience, then the plan, we have an outline plan now, but the plan for the next day really sort of comes together maybe 24 hours before. And one of the important things on the ship is to attend or watch streams into your cabin, the briefing for the next day. And as part of that, it will be, these are the activities we're doing tomorrow. And part of that, the operational plan, we will start with we split you into animal groups. So we will start with group, and we rotate around those groups. So everybody gets a share of coming off first, everyone gets a share of going off last. And we mix that around. So whether that's MS Spitsbergen or Nansen, it's that rotation of getting people off and the number of boats and drivers. One, to get the good experiences ashore or cruising, but that briefing every night with the expedition team and the expedition leader is the key thing, and that gives the operational detail of the plan for the next day, because we may have happening at the same time Zodiac cruising, landing, and kayaking. So there's like this, as Karin says, this intricate mix of scheduling to make it all work. But yeah, we're pretty efficient at getting people off the ship to do these activities.
Great. There's a question around Iceland cruises, and the observation is that we don't tend to stop in the southish portion of Iceland. And the circumnavigation seems to just sail past that. Is there nothing to see there? Will they miss something there? That's the kind of general question there. Does anyone know the logic for
that? I can start, and Karin and Verena will chip in. The south coast is geologically very, very, very soft, if you like. So there's not very deep water, and there's not many ports. So there's not many places you can actually land. So from a ship point of view, it's kind of not I was going to say a blank on the map, but it's also so the circumnavigations tend to go past there because there is nowhere to stop. So again, on the trips that go to and from Hamburg, they do the sort of the bits Karin was talking about up in the northeast, because for us they're the highlights, the sort of hidden gems. But yeah, that south coast is more
complicated.
Complicated from a maritime point of view.
Yeah, the few places that you can access, you really need to time that with the tides, and you will have a very small window. Yeah.
But it's not really a super large area, and so there are different. So that's one reason. Second reason is that this is the area that is most tourist based out of Reykjavik. So out of Reykjavik, trips over to Vik and to that area south is really where most of every tourist coming into Keflavik goes. So it doesn't really make any sense for us to go there to the biggest tourist traps, so to speak. But we do. So it's not a really large area that we're not doing. It is between Djupavågur and Heimaey, and we do exactly, and that is not any longer than it is between, for example, the a jump we do in the north as well. So there are several reasons to why we don't do that. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Here's a question I'm sure we can all relate to. What's the food like on board?
Yummy.
So, yeah, there we go. I mean, I can personally testify. Too good probably came back about a kilogram or two heavier, and
all of us return heavier.
Exactly. It's
I think that there is, and I think, you know, if you are vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian, then there are multiple options, and the food and beverage team look after people really well. We have a mix of buffets, you know, breakfast buffet, lunch buffets. We have, you know, seated dinners, but again, there's always quite a variety there, and we do use and have sort of local food programs, and again, so the food is very good. Yeah, the hotel team do an amazing job.
Yeah,
absolutely. Karin, question around light in Norway, and what's the best month for the interesting light in Norway? We touched on it in the presentation, but I think that would just be good to answer that question, please.
Interesting, I would say, I think if this is really impossible question, because because it changes so quickly, you know what I mean? And you have these, because in January it can be really quiet, you know, the storms are kind of November and so forth, and then it quiets down in January, and you get this wonderful. But okay, let me just choose one period, and it doesn't mean that's the only period that is good. I'm just going to choose one just because I have to right now. So I would say February, mid-February to end of February, and in towards, you know, March, because you get huge contrast, and it also lightens up very quickly at that time. So you kind of gain about 25 minutes of daylight every single
day.
Yeah.
So but I would also say, Karin, maybe it depends on what you are chasing. If it is the northern lights, then maybe you would want to be earlier in the season if that is your main objective. So it really depends.
So true, Verena. Thank you for that. Yes.
Great, thank you. Do we offer a polar plunge in the Arctic?
Oh yes, everywhere.
And is it a beach or boat job?
Both, and even in Norway, in the Lofoten area, in Svolvær, there will be a sauna and polar plunge at the same time. That will be offered.
The true Frillislov.
Yeah, Frillislov. This is becoming really or almost an epidemic in the north at the moment. Yeah. Sauna and cold plunge. I mean, it's such a thing right now. So it's very very common. So so we will do it from the pit, from that tender platform where we do our Zodiacs or our boats in and out, and we will do it from beaches when it's possible.
Both. Great. Conscious of time, we'll just go to the last couple of questions and then we'll wrap up. What footwear is recommended for the Norway trip?
Hiking shoes. With good support to your
ankle.
Yeah.
And maybe waterproof.
Yeah.
And kind of comfortable trainers for on board.
Yeah, comfortable trainers for on board.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Because you're going to go in and out on decks, you know, so you need shoes that you can kind of just jump into, because the northern lights is there.
But they also
from your cabin.
Yeah, but also with a good grip if you're going out to the decks. It can be slippery, so good grip.
Good grip.
Okay. And then the final question is a fun one. We have a gentleman called Mr. John Strand asking if he may be related to Karin Strand. I didn't see the part of the presentation, so I've not established her nationality. She's Norwegian. My name is John Strand, and I'm English-British, and have met other Strands in Sweden, and I'm aware the name is not uncommon in Norway. So there we go. So we may have linked a family tree today as well.
Hi, John.
Fantastic. thank you guys very much for your presentation as ever, very much appreciated. And thank you to all of our guests today for joining. As we've mentioned, there are some amazing offers at the moment, so please do take advantage of those. And there will be a survey that will pop up, and we'd love to get your feedback on how we might improve these webinars for future. So thank you everybody for joining, and we will see you again soon, hopefully.
Look
On
forward to
board,
seeing you on
hopefully.
board.
Yeah, hopefully on
See
Yes.
you
board.
on board. See you on board, everyone. See you on
Exactly.
board.
Thank you
Bye.
very
Thank
much,
you.
everyone. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.